Alright, let's go ahead and go over it, guys. What are the best gifts that you guys can get a gamer this year? And some of these do have some sales for Cyber Monday. Some of these are going to be pricey, but some of these are actually quite cheap as well. So starting right off, we're going to be starting off with something actually very, very strong for any gamer lover. So it doesn't matter if it's your significant other or maybe you're just checking out this video to look up stuff to buy for yourself. The first thing is going to be a life-size posable Ada Wong, or you can get any other sort of game character that you want. Maybe you like Stellar Blade, maybe you're a fan of Tracer from Overwatch, or Mai from King of Fighters, or maybe you're a fan of the Nier series. But I can't say that they are cheap, but a Game Lady life-size posable action figure would be absolutely top tier for any gamer enjoyer. Another thing that I want to go ahead and go over now is that let's go over the mouse pad. This is the Ninja FX Hayate Atsu V2. Now, it doesn't really matter which one that you get. It's just any sort of artesian mousepad. If you just go look up artesian mousepad, you're going to see that these mouse pads are like near like $100, which it sounds crazy. I get it. However, I got to let you guys know that once you try one of these, there is no going back. The reason why they are so expensive is because they use some sort of like sponge technology that is absolutely amazing to actually use your mouse on. Obviously, if you're a console gamer, I guess this wouldn't apply unless you want to use this as like some sort of cushion. But basically, if you play a mouse and keyboard, try out one of these. If you don't like it, you can go ahead and return it. That's what I had as far as my mindset. But after trying one of these, I do feel like it's worth it. With the mouse pad, you kind of just buy it once. You know, it's not something that you have to buy very frequently. So I felt like it was definitely worth it. I've been using it for a year now, and I really do enjoy it. It's just the best way to kind of give an example of why I like the mouse pad and why I'm currently using this one right now with this video and why I use it is because the way that your mouse moves on it, it almost feels kind of like a giant thin sponge versus like a cloth mouse pad or a glass mouse pad. It's just very, very smooth feeling. There's really nothing else on the market like it. And it also has a kind of a different texture. I would recommend just trying it out. And if it's not for you, can feel free to return it because once you try it, it is really good. By the way, this video is not sponsored in any way. The next thing that I actually could recommend, and all of these recommendations, guys, are going to be things that I think everyone can use. It's not going to be some sort of item where I think that, like, you know, some people will like it, some people will dislike it. So as far as keyboards goes, one of the things that I actually evolved from, like, you know, just like a regular mouse pad going to this one, is getting a Hall effect magnetic keyboard. Now, it doesn't have to be this one that I'm showing off, and if I can tag some of these, again, it's not sponsored, but if I can tag some of them so it's easier for you guys to find, and there's like a kickback link, I'll try to provide you guys with that. But the reason why I really like specifically any sort of HE, which is Hall effect, which uses a magnet, is that you're able to set the actuation point. So what this really means is that the person that buys this, now you can get your own switches, by the way, with at least this keyboard, which is the FuryCube M68HE, you can actually swap out the keys and put in whatever you want. So you have to buy these separately. Now, it will come with them, but I'll just make some sounds so you guys can hear kind of what it sounds like with and without the swap. So this is what it sounds like out of the box. So you guys can hear how loud it is, and you can see the different actuation points. And then after I changed my keys, which I'll also link down below if I can, this is what it sounds like. You guys probably can barely hear. So this is out of the box, and this is with the different switches that I put in. But the main reason why I'm just recommending this, and the reason why I'm not going to recommend my exact switches, because some people like thocky, some people like creamy. There's lots of different things that you can get for keyboards, right? But it's that any sort of Hall effect, it doesn't really matter which one that you choose. It's just that if it's Hall effect and it uses a little magnet, or if it's TMR that also uses a magnet, basically you get to set up the actuation points, and it's really nice. Another feature that I really like with this one, and again, I'm going to show another keyboard that's not this one, so don't think I'm just playing favorites here, or it's sponsored, but specifically any sort of thing that has what's called SOCD, or Snappy Tappy. So what this is on the keyboard, I have mine set up for A and D. So if you're strafing, it's really important in certain games like, let's say, Counter-Strike, or if you're playing Overwatch, or any sort of game where you can strafe. Pretty much any game that you can play, you're going to need to strafe if it's like some sort of shooter game. And what it does is it makes it so if I hold down one key and I tap the other one, I could basically tap the other one and it'll go in that direction even if one is held down. Or if I hit 80 spam, it'll kind of give me like a jiggle strafe, which is way better than manually trying to learn that through muscle memory. Now, you can learn it through muscle memory, but obviously if you have it implemented in, it's way, way better. There's another thing that it offers, which is RS, which is Rappy Snappy, which makes it so whatever key is pushed in deeper can actually be the one that is registered, so it'll register over it. Now, the reason why I like it is not just for games where like you could 80 strafe, but it allows you to hold down, let's say, a channeled skill in, let's say, an action RPG game, and what you're able to do with that is then push down and tap another button without having to make your finger let go of one key. It's a pretty big advantage. There's other things, but that's the main reason why I got it. Now, most keyboards you can set up macros and stuff. It's really not that big of a deal, but not every keyboard will have, I don't really care for Rappy Snappy. I just care about SOCD. Again, it just makes it so whatever key that you activate will take priority, and you can set it up for that, which I think is really, really cool. Anyways, the next thing that I want to talk about is the Wooting 60HE V2. Now, there is the first version of it, but there's a second version of it coming out. You can technically pre-order this one now, but either way, if you get this one or the other one, just look into specifically Hall effect, and then also you want to look for something that has what's called Snappy Tappy or SOCD. That's the only thing that really matters. Some of them may have it in their software, but another thing that I recently got that I felt like was objectively just better is any sort of sticks on an analog stick, because I play with controller and I do play with keyboard and mouse, and one thing that I really like is specifically any sort of TMR sticks. Now, I'm using everything that I'm talking about in the video. Actually, my Raiju somewhere on the floor, but basically any sort of thing that has what's called TMR. TMR is this new technology that is in these two controllers. Now, I listed two specifically because like one of them is for Xbox, one of them is a PlayStation only one. Here's let me find it. So this is the Raiju V1, but the newest one actually uses TMR thumbsticks, which is way better. Basically, to kind of sum it up, the main reason why I really prefer like using TMR sticks is the new controller technology is really, really good. So as far as like price point in terms of this, it's like $72 for the Xbox version, and if you want the PlayStation version, it's $219. So either the Razer or the GameStore are the two that I would go for, depending on if you're a partner or if you're buying this for yourself. If you want to play it on PC, both of them will work, but if you just have an Xbox, then you got to get the Xbox one. If you're PlayStation, they do have one called the Wolverine, but it does not, at least at the moment, have the TMR as far as I'm aware. Like the TMR is like a new technology, and it's way better than Hall effect. All right, so another thing that you can get, because I wanted to at least include some sort of budget item over here, if you do want to get your significant other or yourself another controller, one that I can recommend is the GameStore Nova. Now, it comes in a couple different colors. This one's like you can see this one over here. I actually have this one. So this is the same exact one that you guys are seeing in the picture. It is absolutely a steal for 16 bucks. It also has back paddles over here, and it does have good analog sticks. Now, these ones are not TMR. Getting TMR for 16 bucks would be absolutely crazy. But it also is missing like some extra buttons that the other ones would have. But basically, if you want like tippity top of the line as far as that goes in terms of controllers, look for anything with called TMR sticks. All that really matters is that it's super, super accurate, and it feels way better than most analog sticks. Now, if you, again, just want a cheap controller, maybe you want to take it on the go for, let's say, emulators or whatever, then I think that this one would be like the only thing that I could really recommend that's like super cheap, that's like a physical item, at least in this video, because I kind of wanted to show off kind of like the best of the best, that like if you got them for your partner, they would be like, oh my gosh, this is actually something super, super good, right? But next up, I wanted to go into like video games. So if you are maybe interested in also getting your partner a game that you guys can play together, I do have a bunch of like co-op games that I just wanted to go ahead and list. I tried to keep this list short because honestly, if I was talking about like a bunch of video games that you guys can buy because of, you know, Black Friday / Cyber Monday deals, because that was kind of the point of this video, mostly Cyber Monday because we're kind of past Friday here. But this game over here is an absolute steal. I'm going to actually make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. We're going to mute it because you know, most likely some of these trailers will have copyrighted music. Okay, so this game for $4. Okay, Shadows of Mordor, absolutely amazing goated game. If you like hack and slash games with a really great story, there's also RPG elements where you get to like kind of build your character with different like upgrades. This game is just it's so sad that this game didn't get a third sequel, because there's Shadow of War as well, but Shadows of Mordor, the first one, I think is just the better one. But no, both the games are actually really good, but the first one I just really liked. It's so good, it's very epic, and it aged very well. I actually went back recently and played this game earlier this year, went through the whole whole thing, and I was just like, this is better than any game that came out in 2025. In fact, it'll probably be still one of the best games in the next like several years, because new games just aren't hitting the same as old games. And I don't even think it's nostalgia. This game, guys, if you guys have not played it, or if you're like, I just want to get my significant other something super cheap, if they don't already have it in their Steam library, you have to probably check out for that, because there's the gift feature. But yeah, you can also look for this because, you know, obviously some people like physical copies of games, so you guys can go look out for physical copies. I think this was on the PS4. But yeah, the Shadows of Mordor, absolutely for $4, it's a steal, but you can probably buy a used copy of the game for pretty cheap as well if you prefer physical copies of games. Another thing I wanted to mention is Diablo and Path of Exile. So like, these are my two favorite games, but I think that these are excellent co-op games. And the reason why I think these are excellent co-op games that you can play like couch co-op if you want to, is because you can specifically play together and you get to build a character. So you're building into something and you guys can overcome challenges. And I think a lot of guys really like to kind of make their own sort of character, or any sort of gamer in general likes to build their own character. But if you get stuck, I feel like a lot of guys love to explain things in just any sort of realm. And with this, I think that if they do follow, let's say, a build online, shoutouts, you know, you can go browse my own videos. But I think that this is a good game for significant others to kind of play with each other, as well as being able to kind of overcome certain challenges. If you maybe get stuck at a boss, you guys can share your gear as well. I think that is excellent. Also, Path of Exile 2. The reason why I also want to mention Diablo 4 right now is on sale. Sometimes they, you know, have games deals with the Battle.net launcher. I would recommend, by the way, to buy this game on Battle.net, and the reason why I'm recommending that is because you get access to PTR, which is like a test server, if you play on PC. If you play on console, it doesn't matter where you get it then. But Path of Exile 2 is another action RPG game. So again, this is another game where you're going to be building up your character, and you're going to have, like, you know, loot, and just like Diablo, you guys can kind of share gear. Like, if you're like, oh, I have an extra one of these, I'll give it to you. I think that these games actually make really good, fun couch co-op. Now, it's not going to be super easy just to pick up and play instantly. I'm not gonna lie, but I think that there is, you know, a learning curve, which is definitely enjoyable, especially if you play a couch co-op. The best couch co-op game, to be honest, though, for significant others to, like, you know, if you were to play, there's nothing that really beats It Takes Two. I think that this game is like pick up and play. It's easy, it's unique, and there's, like, you know, always something kind of going on, especially with the craziness that goes on, especially with this like elephant scene in the game. But basically, this is more of a puzzle game, but it's kind of like working together to solve things. I think it's a great game just in general too. It's not just for significant others to play. Like, if you and your buddy want to play this game, dude, this game's actually pretty good. And I think a lot of people did enjoy it. All right, and then also, this is one of my top recommendations for co-op and significant others to play together, is Portal 2. The brain activity in this game is so good. It's not on sale technically right now. Sometimes there's bundles that you can get it. Hey, the bundle's 1,000% worth it, because Portal 2 is probably one of the best puzzle games, and like, until we get Portal 3, this will still be the king of the puzzle games. Next up, this is another game where I think that it would be fun for others if you guys like horror games. So Species Unknown is a game that I've been playing for a little bit. Basically, you go to a space station and you have to, like, extract, like, basically not get eliminated by these monsters, and each one of these monsters has to be battled a certain way, and you have to basically work together. Now, you can play this game 1 to 4 players, but I think 2 players is actually kind of where I would say it is the most enjoyable, because you really have to work together, whereas we have 4, it becomes a little bit easier, to be honest. But really cool game, and this game is only $10 too, and it also has a free demo that you can play. And okay, every single one of my like recommendations for video games, I have to include this. Metal Gear Rising: Revenge is like the greatest game that I can recommend for any guy. Again, I know this list, it could go both ways, but the reason why I wanted to make this video, by the way, guys, is because I was scrolling through my TikTok feed. It was like, oh, these are the best items to get your boyfriend for Black Friday. I saw a couple of these, and they're like, someone like, you get him flannels, and I was like, I don't think a guy would get as excited for a flannel jacket or some nice, like, slippers compared to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I had to go ahead and just make this video specifically for that reason, because, like, a lot of the items were just F tier, and like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is obviously superior than a flannel jacket. But basically, this is a hack and slash game, very, very high action, some of the best soundtracks in like any video game. And then another game that's actually on sale for $6 right now is Zone of the Enders. If your guy likes mechs, maybe they like Gundam Wing, this game is like criminally good for it not to get a third sequel. It's just like a lot of the games, like they have a sequel and then they never get a third sequel for I don't know what reason. But basically, if again, your significant other likes, let's say, Gunpla, this is probably one of the coolest games because it's not a slow mech game. I love my mech games to be super fast, and it's honestly really short. That's probably why it probably didn't do so well. But for specifically $6, it is probably one of the coolest games. This also, I think, has like a VR like variant of the game, but just like the regular base game, again, it's just so absolutely amazing. And then I had to throw in like an old school game over here as well that it happened to be on sale. It's one of my like favorites. Which is Shogo Mobile Armor Division. This is a really, really old game, by the way. So if maybe you were a fan of, let's say, like GoldenEye for the N64, basically think of like GoldenEye for the N64 with like basically a really good shooter game. And then you also can get in a giant mech. It's very, very anime inspired, very, very cool game. Kind of one of those like underground, like unknown games, but if you've played it, you know it's good. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and pretty much wrap up the video. And if you're wondering why I didn't include, let's say, a mouse or other peripherals, I wanted to go ahead and basically go over the tippity top, the best of the best for the video. So those are all my recommendations for you guys. But anyways, if there's anything that I left out that you guys think is absolutely amazing to get for, again, Cyber Monday and or just like, you know, the holidays, because some of the stuff, well, at the time of making this video, we're still in like the some of the things will say like Black Friday to Cyber Monday, but some of these may extend past it because they just have deals going on. But yeah, let me know down below if there's any other good stuff to mention, but I wanted to go ahead and just make this video. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like, and if you're new here, subscribe, turn the bell if you guys want to see more content. And like I said, I'll try to tag some of the stuff if I can via the things, but again, this video was not sponsored. But anyways, take care, gamers, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!